Today we're going to learn about or review subtracting fractions with word problems. So the first problem we're going to look at is number 6 on this page. Rachel and her friend were seeing who could pick up more bags of cans. Rachel picked up 10.5 bags and her friend picked up 5 4/7 bags. How much more did Rachel pick up than her friend? So I know that I'm dealing with Rachel, who picked up 10.5 bags, and her friend, who picked up 5 4/7 bags, and it wants to know how much more Rachel picked than her friend. So I'm going to take 10.5 minus 5 4/7. Okay, for this problem, they don't have the same denominator, so I need to figure out what denominator they could share. I have a 2 and I have a 7. I know that 2 times 7 is 14, so I'm going to make that my common denominator. This means I multiplied by 2 here, so I have to multiply by 2 up top. So that gives me 8/14. This means I multiplied by 7, so I have to multiply by 7 up top. So I end up with 10 and 7/14 minus 5 and 8/14. When I look at this problem, I can't take 8 away from 7. If I only have 7, I can't take the 8 away. So I have to borrow. That means this 10 becomes a 9, and I have to think, how can I add that whole number I just borrowed on my fraction side? Well, I know my denominator is 14, and in order to make a whole, when I have a denominator of 14, my numerator has to be 14. 14/14 equals that one whole that I just borrowed. So this means 9 and 7 plus the 14 is 21/14 minus 5 and 8/14. Okay, so I look at my fraction side first. I'm subtracting my two numerators. My denominator is going to stay the same. So 21 minus 8 would be 13. And 9 minus 5 would be 4. So I end up with an answer of 4 and 13/14. Okay? I cannot reduce this fraction because 13 and 14 don't have a number that both of them can be divided by. Okay? So I'm going to try to solve another problem as an example for you guys. Okay? We're going to look at number 7. For Halloween, Janet received 7 1/3 pounds of candy. After a week, her family had eaten 5.5 pounds. How many pounds of candy does she have left? So this is what she started with. This is how much they ate. So I have to subtract those two. So I'm going to take 7 1/3 and subtract 5 1/2. Minus 5 1/2. Right now they don't have the same denominator. However, I can decide what denominator they should share. 2 and 3 can share the denominator 6. Here, 2 times 3 gave me 6. So 1 times 3 gives me 3. Here, 3 times 2 gave me 6. So 1 times 2 gives me 2. So I have 7 and 2, 6, minus 2 and 3, 6. I have a similar problem here. I only have 2 and I'm supposed to be able to take 3 away. So I have to borrow because I don't have enough to take 3 away from 2. This changes into a 6, and I have to add my whole number on my fraction side. So I have to think. If my denominator is 6, how can I add that whole? Well, that means it needs to be 6, 6, the same numerator as the denominator. This ends up being 6 and 8, 6, minus 2 and 3, 6. 8 minus 3 is 5, 6, and 6 minus 2 is 4. So my answer is 4 and 5, 6. Okay. I'm going to give you 2 problems to solve, and you should pause the video and try to solve these yourself. Okay. Number 8 and number 9 are the two problems you're going to try to solve, and pause the video, and then I'll show you the answers once you can play the video after you've tried to figure them out. So number 8 is a coach filled up a cooler with water until it weighed 17 1/8 pounds. After the game, the cooler weighed 14 1/3 pounds. How many pounds lighter was the cooler after the game? Okay, a subtraction problem because it wants to know the difference between when they started and when they ended. Number 9 says, Caleb drew a line that was 4 4/5 inches long. If he drew a second line that was 3 7/8 inches long, what is the difference between the length of the two lines? So again, they want me to subtract and find the difference. You need to pause the video and try to solve both of those, and I'm going to go over the answers on the next page. So number 8 has me subtracting 17 1/8 minus 14 1/3. I need to find a common denominator because right now they don't have one. 8 and 3 could share the denominator 24. So I know 8 times 3 gave me the, 8 times 3 gave me the 24. 1 times 3 gives me 3. 3 times 8 gave me 24 here. So 1 times 8 gives me 8 there. I cannot take 8 away from 3. So again, I have to borrow. This changes to 16. And I have to add my whole number over here, which would be 24 24ths. This equals 16 and 27 24ths minus 14 and 8 24ths. 27 minus 8 is 19 24ths, and 16 minus 14 is 2 wholes. So my answer is 2 and 19 24ths for number 8. Number 9 would be 4 4/5 minus 3 7/8. They don't have a common denominator, but I can create one for them. So 4 is my whole number, 3 is my whole number. They can share the denominator 40. 8 times 5 gave me 40, so 7 times 5 gives me 35. 5 times 8 gave me 40, so 4 times 8 gives me 32. I can't take 35 away from 32. 32 minus 35 won't work. I don't have enough. So I have to borrow. This becomes a 3, and I have to add a whole over here in fraction form, which would be 40 40ths. So this becomes 3 and 72 40ths minus 3 and 35 40ths. Okay, 72 minus 35. Solve that over to the side. This is 12 and this is 6. 12 minus that 5 is 7. 6 minus 3 is 3. So I end up with 37 40ths, and 3 minus 3 is 0. So my answer is 37 40ths for number 9. Make sure that you correct any of the mistakes that you made on these two problems, and we'll review again next week.